Hey y'all, and welcome to day 10 of 31 Days of Halloween. Today we will be becoming Billy the Puppet using this face chart by Anna, aka Born Bad, on Pinterest. I'll have her page linked below in the description box, but without further ado, let's get into this look. As usual, I'm starting by adding a little bit of facial mist just to add some moisture to my face. And once that dries a little bit, I'm going to go in with my Elmer's glue stick and I'm going to glue down just the eyebrow on the left side of my face. We're going to leave the right one as is, and then we're going to go in and set that with some translucent setting powder. I'm going to repeat these steps a couple more times just to make sure that I completely conceal that eyebrow. So I'm going in with a second layer of that Elmer's glue, and then I'm going to set that with my translucent setting powder. And once that layer is dry, I'm going to go in with one more coat of that Elmer's glue and then set that final coat with my translucent setting powder. Now you definitely want to check between each coat just to make sure that each layer is dry before you move on to the next step, because sometimes you might need to just let it dry for a bit or add some more setting powder before it's completely dry. Next, I'm going to take just some regular black eyeliner and I'm going to use this to kind of map out how I want everything placed on my face. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can always go back and fix these mistakes. But then I'm going to take that same black eyeliner and fill in my eyebrow on the right side of my face. I'm also going to add it to my waterline, which of course I did off camera. Then I'm just spooling out my eyebrows before I go in with the concealer and clean up my eyebrow, as well as I'm actually going to fill my entire face with this concealer, but just in the spaces that are not going to be covered by the face mask, if that makes any sense. Basically, this is going wherever your natural skin is showing. So then I'm going to go ahead and with a brush and blend that out before I go in yet again with some setting powder to set it. But for this part, I'm actually going to be using banana setting powder instead of the white setting powder that we typically use and will use on the other side of our face. And this is just to keep some of that pigment in our face. Either one will do, but I had this one on hand, so I figured I might as well use it. Next, I'm going in with my Lexx Luxury palette, and I'm going to be using the brown from this palette just to kind of toast up the edges and again add a little bit more pigment to that skin part. Next, I'm going in with my liquid latex, and I'm just going to use that all along the lines that we created that are basically where that broken face mask meets the face. And then we're going to allow that liquid latex some time to dry before we move on to the next step. Going in with my Blank in the Dark face paints, and I'll be using the white, and I'll just be covering the entire left side of my face. I am saving that liquid latex part for last just because I want to make sure that it's all the way dry. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the rest of my face and then go back and apply it on the edges where that liquid latex is. Once I have it applied all over my face using this brush, I'm going to go back in with a sponge and just kind of spread it out and make it not so blotchy. And then once I'm satisfied, I'm going to go in with my white translucent setting powder and I'm going to set my entire face. Now, one thing that I have found is it ends up being a lot more pigmented where you have that Elmer's glue and the liquid latex. So I'm going to go in with a second coat, but strategically just placing it on those areas where there's just bare face underneath. No real primer, so that it kind of evens it out a little bit. Then I'm going to go back in and set those areas. Now, it still isn't perfect. You still do see a lot more pigment on those edges where that liquid latex is, but I'm satisfied, so I'm going to move forward. Now I'm going into my Lexx Luxury palette, and I'm using my favorite brown from this palette, and I'm just taking it around the edges to create like a shadow around where that mask sits on my face. Originally I was gonna also go in and pull up the liquid latex on the edges so that it is kind of 3D, but at the last minute I kind of opted out of it, so this will do. Now I'm taking my black eyeliner and marking out where I want my eyebrow to sit on the left side of my face. the eyebrow that is on the mask. I'm also going to draw lines straight down from the corners of my mouth all the way down my chin to serve as Billy the Puppet's mouth. Next, I'm going in with some black face paint from my Athena oil-based face paints palette, and I'm gonna prime the right eye where you can see my bare face with that black face paint. I'm also gonna take it underneath my line, and then I'm also gonna do the eye on the other side as well, but on this side I am just putting black in the corners versus the entire lid. And then, of course, I'm going to take that black face paint and just go over the lines that we made with our eyeliner just to make those a lot bolder. Now, for eyeshadow, I'm going to be going back into my Lexx Luxury palette with this red. And I'm going to be placing that red right in the center of my lid on the left side of my face where the mask is. But then I'm also going to take a little bit of that red and blend out from the black that we put as primer on the other side of our face, and I'm gonna kind of blend out between like the red and the black right in that space. At this point, I decided that I needed to add more eyeshadow to the mask side of my face, so now I am just continuing that black and red but going up a little bit further towards my brow. I'm also gonna continue that black eyeshadow right down the sides of my nose, just to give it a little contour so that you can see that this is clearly the nose of a puppet. I'm also going to use that black to contour my cheek, or just on the side of the mask where you can really see my cheek. Now for the next step, I'm using this little hack that I just saw on Instagram where I'm taking the cap from my setting powder, and I'm going to use that as kind of like a stamp to put where I want the little spirals on my cheeks. This is basically so I can just get them in the right shape and about the right size on both sides. And once I have that little stencil on there, I'm going to take my red paint, my red face paint, and a detailing brush, and I'm just going to slowly draw that spiral in. I did do this by hand. I don't really have a suggestion for how you could stencil on this entire piece, but just take your time, and yeah, that's all I can say really. Take your time, follow the line, and just continue that spiral. Now, I knew this was going to take a little time, so I went ahead and recorded this as a time lapse so that we can just go ahead and speed right through this part. But please be mindful that this step did take quite some time, so just be patient and take your time so that you don't mess up. The end result should look a little something like this. Now I'm going to go in with my black liquid liner, and I'm just going to add wings to both of my eyes. This is another step that gets me, so take your time again and just be patient. Next, I'm going to take some mascara and go ahead and apply that to both my bottom and top lashes on both eyes. And I apologize, I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. But then I'm going to take some black liner and just line around my lips. And to fill them in, I'll be using the red from my Athena oil-based face paints palette and just using that as some red lipstick. And you can also use red lipstick if you have it. I'm just using what I have on hand as always. Next, I'm going to take this shimmery gold color from my Revolution palette, and I'm adding it just as a highlight right up under my brow bone on the side of my face where you can see my actual skin. And I'm just going to blend it out to where we put that red shade underneath. Once I'm satisfied with the eyeshadow, I'm going to just add on some eyelashes, which of course I did off camera as well. And then I'm going to go in with some sticky blood, and I am going to just place that right along the edges of that, where that face meets that flesh. And like I said, originally I was gonna take up the edges of the liquid latex and just kind of place this up under it, so to give a more 3D look, but I decided not to. I had about 3 looks to record this day, so I did cut a few corners, and I do apologize. And finally, I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of that blood spray, and I'm just gonna spray it just kind of all over, not all over, but strategically in certain spaces like my forehead and my cheeks, just to give it a little more flair. Now for the part that is my favorite part, I will be adding my Jigsaw earrings. These are the Jigsaw earrings I made last year for 31 days of Halloween, and I am obsessed with them. If you would like to order some custom earrings from me, just head over to the link that's in my description. I don't have these Jigsaw earrings listed for sale. However, if you order using that custom link, I can literally make you anything you want. Now, the last thing we're gonna do is throw on a wig. So I had a wig in mind for this look, the same wig that I used last year for my Saw look, which is a red wig. So I'm going to show you guys that red wig first. Of course, I'm just putting my hair in a ponytail and throwing a wig cap on top. And this was going to be the final look for my Billy the Puppet look. And I do really like how it looks with this wig. It does kind of make the red pop a lot more. But for those of you who are true horror movie fanatics like I am, you'll probably know that Billy the Puppet actually has black stringy hair. Now, when I created this look in 2023, I started it with a black wig, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what that looked like here, and you can let me know which one you like the best. But I realized also in 2023 that I also did not like the look of this particular black wig. It was a little too stringy. So I also went ahead and tried it out with my red wig as well. So this is the comparison of the 2023 Billy the Puppet look and the 2025. Let me know which one you guys like the best. But I also just got a new wig from my friend Tabitha that I thought would make the perfect Billy the Puppet wig. So here it is, and you guys can be the judge also of whether or not you think this wig is more suitable for Billy the Puppet or the red wig. I personally think the black one just set it off. Like, this iconic. I absolutely love the Billy the Puppet look with the black wig. But I am curious to know what you guys think, so make sure you comment down below, red wig or black wig. Anyways, this concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching day 10 of 31 days of Halloween. This has been such a fun journey, and I can't wait to share some more looks with you guys. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 11 of 31 days of Halloween.